Hey guys, welcome back. It's Patrick Robertson here at Momentous Building, your favorite contractor, and today we're going to be talking about electric floor heat and the cost associated with it, getting it in your home. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. We're really growing this channel. It's starting to take off. We love you guys, and thank you so much for joining us here today. So electric floor heat, what is it? Electric floor heat is a heating cable that runs underneath your floor to provide heat from the floor up into your space. This electric floor heat is a common alternate to water or hydronic radiant heat that is very, very common. It's been around for years and years and years. Very similar idea. Hydronic radiant heat, which is common, is basically hot water running through in between your floors to bring the heat up. And what electric heat is that it basically has the same loop going back and forth and is a hot wire that heats up using electricity underneath your floor to provide the heat up. It doesn't get so hot that it's going to burn anything, so that's one safety area that you guys don't have to worry about, but it's a similar concept. And electric radiant heat floor can now be installed in pretty much any single location in the house if it's the right layers are put in, so it can be installed underneath carpet, hardwood floor, vinyl, and where it really started out is tile in the bathrooms to create a warm surface when you're in that barefoot setting. So with that recap and that breakdown of what electric floor heat is used for and what it is, let's go into the actual purpose of the talk today, and that's the cost of electric radiant heat floor. The cost is going to be extremely variable depending on where it's being installed, the size of the room, and the specs, the brand, and all these different things. Personally, we like to use Schluter. Dietrich Heat is what it's called, and that is because it's been around for many, many years. If you do all the testings and the journaling and the correct information and correct installation, they give a 15-year warranty. We've had times where they've warranted the product, they come out the next day, they get the job done, and they're there, they replace everything, they pay for the labor, they do all these different things, because sometimes things go wrong, and this company has treated us right, so we stick with them. So any cost in this conversation is going to be used based off of Schluter. Now, every single floor heat is going to be a little bit different, but this is going to definitely give you a right ballpark no matter what manufacturer they go with, because they're all kind of in the same 10 to 15% range of cost. So why might you want electric floor heat? Just really quickly, because you're going to want it because it really transforms the space. It keeps your feet warm. It heats you from the ground up rather than top down, which we get through other heating elements. Your baseboard heat produces a very, very dry heat. That's that metal radiator that runs around the outside of your rooms. It can click a lot of times because after a lot of age, so it's kind of noisy. It produces a very dry heat, very uneven heating. Forced air is going to be where you have your air vents coming down, usually they're in the ceiling, and they're heating the space backwards, so that they're putting hot air down, but then it stays up, so your head gets really hot, rather than the heat coming ground up and radiating upwards, which is another benefit to electric floor heat, because it heats your body in a better way and heats the space, creates a more comfortable environment. And then plus, when you're in your bare feet and that floor is nice and warm at 85 degrees or 80 degrees, whatever your preference is, it's a great feeling. So the cost of electric floor heat is kind of like this curveball why, and it's hard to price out, and that's why you really can't see too much of it online or getting accurate price, because in general, for the material alone, there's going to be a variation between $8 a square foot for the biggest rooms and $16 a square foot for the smallest rooms. And that's just for material, and the reason why that is because with a bigger space, there's the wire's longer, there's more efficiencies in running everything, so the cost per square foot goes down. And then with a smaller space, likewise, it's still a lot of labor up front and materials up front, so it's a little bit more expensive for the smaller space per square foot. So that's material, $18 to $16 a square foot for material. So that basically breaks it down. If you got an 8 by 10 bathroom, you're going to be in the range of $1,000 to $1,300. And then if you have a 12 by 16 bathroom, one of those nice big master bathrooms, you're going to be in the range of $2,000 to $2,400. And that range really comes down to is how the cable's laid, some specifics on your fixture layout, your cabinet layout. Are you going with a Wi-Fi thermostat? Are you just going with a standard thermostat? There's some different great technologies out there coming out. So that's definitely one huge factor. And then the biggest curveball is going to be your electrical, because with electric floor heat, you're going to need a dedicated circuit running to it to power the actual heating elements. So what does that mean? That big gray box that's down in your basement and your garage, the electrician's going to have to run a new wire from that all the way to your bathroom. So there's the material for the breakers, the materials for the wire, and then you have to actually the labor to run it, right? So for that work alone, you're looking at anywhere between $1,800 and upwards of $3,500 or more, depending on the length of the run. And then the electrician also has to hook everything up and wire everything together once it runs to the bathroom. They have to put a conduit in, a box. So there's a lot of work that adds up to get you to that finished product. Then if the bathroom is in a location where they have to cut through ceilings or walls or these different ways to get the wire there, we're going to have a painter patch up the walls. Luckily the electrician makes some small cuts, so they do some patchwork with the drywall, they paint it, and there might be a few of these running all the way to the bathroom to get that wire there, that new circuit to power the floor. So if you're lucky, there's no opening, so you don't need to have any budget for the painter. If it's a longer run, the painter might be working for a full day or more, so $600 with material and all these different things just to patch up these holes. And then lastly, we have the tile setter. So the tile setter has some additional materials. He's going to need to use some different floor mats. He's also going to need to run the wire. We have our tile setter run the wire. Sometimes the electrician runs the wire. However, we've had better results, and our team likes to work better with the tile installer, with the tile installer laying the wire, because then he can get the tiling right away. There's no next day thing, because they can test it and run it test it and tile the same day. So that's why we do it like that. So for the tile setter, it might be like $550 extra if it's a smaller bathroom, all the way up to an extra $1,000. So what does this mean on the labor front alone? You're looking at, $4,700 if it's a really big bathroom, maybe $5,000 for a big bathroom, or on a low cost, this is for labor only, $2,500. So all in all, your electric floor heat can range anywhere between, say, $4,000 to get it installed with materials and labor, up to $8,000 or even higher depending on your layout. So that's really where we're standing on there, is that, $4,000 to $8,000. Now, mind you, we are operating out of New York, Westchester County, New York, so that reflects our labor rates and material prices around here. If you're in different parts of the country, it might be a little bit less. I'm sure if you're living in California, like LA or San Diego, your prices might be right around us, maybe even higher in some regions. So, but it definitely gets you a ballpark. Hey, listen, if I want electric heat and I got a small bathroom, it might be around $4,000. If I got a big bathroom, I want electric heat, big master, it might be like, $7,000 or $8,000. So that's a great starting place for just to wrap your head around, right? And then the last thing we want to talk about, right, is testing, because like we said before, Schluter Systems provides a 15-year warranty on their electric floor heat, which is amazing, because generally bathrooms get remodeled in that 15 to 25-year range. So it's going to last that whole entire time before, the next owner or the next phase of your life or the next, time you want to get together to remodel that bathroom. But to get that, there's a series of tests, about 4 or 5 different situations where you need to test, right? So when you get the wire, you need to test it before you even right when you open up the box. We like to do it the day of that we get the wire. Then we have to test it when we actually run the wire. And then we have to test it again after the tile is down. So there's a bunch of different tests, and all in all, these tests add up to about 4 to 5 hours of extra labor. And that's why there's some of these costs in here that seem high, but there's a lot of extra labor, right? So in conclusion, right, I want to just retouch the benefits of electric floor heat and then just touch on the cost, because we talked about a pretty hefty increase in cost, especially 4 grand for a smaller master or 7 or 8 grand for a larger master. But what happens is that when we have the electric floor heat, we can do a couple different things. We can pretty much, what we've seen if the room's properly insulated, is only have half the amount of primary heating supplies in the room. So that's getting rid of a lot of the baseboard heaters, or not having to run your forced air with these different things. So the electric floor heat isn't a primary heater. However, we've seen it where even when it's 15 degrees out, the primary heating system doesn't have to go on. So that's a great benefit, because we're getting a healthier, more comforting heating system in the bathroom or whatever room you want to use it in. We're using bathrooms just because it's a common place to have it. However, we've installed them in basements, kitchens, living rooms. They've really ranged from all over the home. Another great reason is if it is in the bathroom again, it'll help evaporate all that water on the floor much quicker. And so you got a safety hazard, safety concern right there that it cleans up. So, and then just the comfort of having that warm feet in the morning first thing is a true blessing. So that's our favorite part. I mean, I personally love it when I wake up in the morning and my feet are just warm. It's an amazing feeling to wake you up but also feel relaxed at the same time. So that's where we're really sitting at. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about electric floor heat, please leave them below, as we'll definitely answer back, and maybe even do a follow-up video to answer it if there's some good questions in there. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe as we grow this message. It's really trying to get out there. It's growing right now, and I appreciate you all. And this is Patrick Robertson, your contractor from Momentous Building, and we'll catch you on the next one.